For decades, we've been told that a skinless chicken breast is the gold standard of healthy eating. What if I told you that for those of us over 60, that very same health food could be quietly accelerating muscle loss and frailty? The truth about what's really on your plate and what it's doing to your body, your energy, and your memory in your 60s, 70s, and beyond is more shocking and more critical than you've ever been led to believe.
It began as a quiet intrusion. For Walter, a retired history teacher, the world had always been made of stories, of facts and dates that connected like a grand, intricate map in his mind. His books weren't just paper and ink. They were old friends, familiar landscapes he could wander through for hours. But lately, the landscape had become foggy. The words on the page, once sharp and clear, now seemed to swim, to lose their meaning between one line and the next. He'd find himself rereading the same paragraph 3, 4 times, the thread of the narrative lost in a frustrating haze. It wasn't just forgetfulness, it was the suffocating fog of memory loss, a thief that was stealing the very essence of who he was. Walter had been a man defined by his energy. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a storyteller, a pillar of his community who led historical walking tours through town, his voice booming with passion. His pride was in his sharp mind and the strength in his legs that could carry him 4 miles while he painted pictures of the past for eager listeners. Now, that man felt like a distant memory. A deep, bone-weary fatigue had settled in, a constant companion that made even a simple walk to the corner store feel like a monumental effort. The joy of a long walk in the woods, a core pleasure of his retirement, was gone. He'd start with ambition, but halfway down the familiar path, the energy would just evaporate, leaving him breathless and defeated. His body felt less like a trusted friend and more like a heavy coat he was forced to drag around. This daily erosion was the cruelest part. It wasn't one single event, but 1,000 tiny surrenders. It was the embarrassment of losing his train of thought mid-story with his grandson. It was the frustration of abandoning a simple woodworking project he'd started with gusto. Each instance was a quiet confirmation of his fear. He was diminishing. The world he had once commanded with his intellect and vitality was shrinking, its borders defined by the reach of his fatigue and the thickness of the fog in his mind. Later that evening, sitting in his favorite armchair, the history book lying closed on his lap, a single, devastating thought surfaced from the depths of his exhaustion. It was a fear he hadn't dared to give voice to until now. It feels, he thought to himself, his throat tightening, like the pages of my own life story are being torn out, one by one, and I'm just sitting here, watching it happen. His eyes drifted to the photograph on the mantel, a younger Walter, full of fire. He remembered that day. It was after he'd fought to get the school a new library, a battle everyone said he would lose. He hadn't given up then. A different kind of defiance began to stir within him, a spark in the ashes of his fatigue. It wasn't a sudden burst of energy, but a quiet, profound question that cut through the fog. What am I fueling this body with? For months, he'd been following the same old advice: lean meats, low fat, the healthy choices. But what if that fuel was wrong? What if the very things he thought were helping him were actually contributing to the fire going out? His perspective shifted. This wasn't a passive decline. It was a problem to be solved. The change wasn't a miracle. It was methodical. It was a deliberate choice to change the fuel. Months later, the walks grew longer. The fog in his mind began to recede, not vanishing entirely, but thinning enough for the sun to shine through. He finished the birdhouse. He could once again lose himself in the pages of his books, the stories welcoming him back like the old friends they were. He was reclaiming the small, priceless moments that constituted a life. The joy wasn't in becoming the man in the photograph again. He was in becoming the best version of the man he was today.
Walter's story isn't about a magic pill. It's about a profound realization. The food on our plate is one of the most powerful tools we have. It can either be the anchor that weighs us down or the high-octane fuel that lifts us up. The hard-won knowledge he used to change his life is exactly what we're about to share with you now. So many of us are diligently trying to do the right thing, following the same advice we've heard for 40 years. Eat lean protein, avoid fat, choose chicken. But what if that advice is dangerously incomplete or even flat out wrong for a body over 60? What if some of the most common meats in your fridge are quietly fanning the flames of inflammation, spiking your heart attack risk, and chipping away at your precious memories? In the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle these myths for good. We're going to expose the 4 worst meats you should never touch, ranked from bad to the absolute worst. We'll uncover the breakfast betrayal, we'll expose the sandwich saboteur, and we'll even reveal the health food hoax that is fooling millions. Then, we'll turn the tables and reveal the 4 best meats you must eat for maximum benefit. Again, ranked from good to absolutely life-changing. We'll introduce you to the ancient Powerhouse and the ocean super pill. And you absolutely must stick with me until the very end. The number 1 meat on our worst list has been linked to a shocking 56% rise in heart attacks for people over 60. On the flip side, the number 1 best meat on our list was shown in a clinical trial to boost memory and energy by an incredible 44%. And it's a food almost nobody's eating anymore. The answer will change the way you look at your grocery list forever. As we dive in, let me know in the comments. What's the one meat you eat most often? I'm reading and replying to every single comment. And just a quick, important reminder. All the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet or health regimen. Our goal here is empowerment through knowledge, so you can have informed, productive conversations with them. All right, let's get started. First, the meats to clear out of your kitchen, starting with number 4. Dangerous meat number 4, conventional pork sausage, the breakfast betrayal. There's something undeniably comforting about the sizzle and smell of sausage on a weekend morning, isn't there? It's a staple of breakfasts, a star in holiday stuffings. But for those of us over 60, that familiar comfort food is a profound betrayal, a ticking time bomb hiding in plain sight. The problem isn't just the pork itself. It's the modern industrial processing that transforms a simple piece of meat into a dangerous chemical cocktail. Most conventional sausage you find in the supermarket is loaded with preservatives, chief among them being nitrates and nitrites. These are added to preserve the color and extend shelf life. You might think a little preservative here and there is harmless, but here's the critical part. When these chemicals are heated or digested, your body can convert them into compounds called nitrosamines. Leading health experts are clear on this. Nitrosamines are known carcinogens. To truly grasp what this means, let's use an analogy. Imagine these nitrosamines are like tiny, silent demolition crews sent into your body. They don't swing a giant wrecking ball. They quietly and methodically chip away at your cellular DNA, day after day. For a younger person's body, the internal repair crews might keep up. But for a senior's body, where detoxification and repair systems are naturally a bit slower, the damage accumulates much faster. Therefore, each bite of processed sausage carries significantly more risk than it did in your 30s. The science on this is chilling. A 2022 study published in BMC Medicine followed over 18,000 adults over 60 for nearly a decade. The findings were stark. Seniors who ate processed pork sausage just twice a week had a 22% higher risk of developing colon cancer. That's not all. They also had a 16% greater risk of kidney dysfunction. The researchers pointed not just to the nitrosamines, but also the astronomical sodium content, which spikes blood pressure and puts immense stress on the kidneys. So, the payoff here isn't about giving up flavor, it's about taking back control. The solution is to choose fresh, unprocessed ground pork, turkey or chicken and season it yourself with sage, thyme, and fennel. You get all the satisfying flavor without the chemical betrayal. Dangerous meat, number 3, deli ham and processed cold cuts, the sandwich saboteur. Next on our list is perhaps the ultimate symbol of convenience, the prepackaged deli meat. That quick ham and cheese or turkey sandwich might seem like a harmless, easy lunch. But for anyone over 60, these cold cuts are one of the most deceptive saboteurs of long-term health. The core issue is a process called ultra-processing. To get that uniform texture, long shelf life, and pinkish hue, meats like ham, bologna, and even many roast beef and turkey slices are pumped full of salt, hidden sugars, artificial flavorings, and once again, sodium nitrite. As we just discussed, this compound can form cancer-causing nitrosamines in your body, but the assault on your system doesn't stop there. A landmark 2020 study in the International Journal of Epidemiology that tracked 40,000 seniors delivered a stunning warning. It found that those who ate processed deli meats just 4 or more times a week had a 24% higher risk of developing heart failure and a 19% increased risk of dying from any cause compared to those who rarely ate them. So why is the effect so dramatic? Let's use a different analogy. Think of your vast network of blood vessels as a system of soft, flexible garden hoses. The extremely high sodium content in deli meats is like cranking the water pressure to maximum 24/7. This constant high pressure is, of course, high blood pressure. At the same time, many of these meats contain phosphates, which can act like a mineral buildup, making the hoses stiff and brittle over time. Therefore, you have a dual front attack that dramatically raises the risk of a catastrophic failure in the system, a heart attack or stroke. Even the swelling in your ankles and legs, a common complaint among older adults, can be directly linked to the water retention caused by this massive sodium load. The convenience is tempting, I know, but each bite delivers a cocktail of chemicals that quietly chips away at your heart, your kidneys, and even your brain. The solution is simple but powerful. Buy a fresh, whole chicken breast or a lean cut of beef. Roast it at home with herbs. Slice it up and keep it in your fridge for the week. You get all the convenience, all the taste, and none of the sabotage. Dangerous meat. Number 2, deep-fried chicken, the golden brown deception. Deep-fried chicken. It's the centerpiece of picnics, the guilty pleasure at family gatherings, the siren song of almost every fast food chain. That crunchy, golden brown crust and juicy interior are almost irresistible. Yet for a body over 60, this beloved comfort food is a dangerous deception. It isn't really about the chicken. It's about what happens when it's battered in refined flour and plunged into massive vats of cheap industrial oils cooked at extreme temperatures. The result is a food loaded with 3 toxic threads: trans fats, acrylamides, and advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. This isn't just speculation. A massive 2020 study published in the prestigious BMJ, which followed over 100,000 women for 2 decades, found that those who ate fried chicken more than once a week had a 13% higher risk of dying from any cause and a 12% increased risk of death from heart-related events. The risk was even higher for women over 60. To understand why, let's use another metaphor. Eating deep-fried foods regularly is like starting a low-grade wildfire inside your body. The cheap soybean and corn oils used in most restaurants are rich in omega-6 fatty acids. While we need some omega-6, these oils provide a massive overdose, which acts like dry kindling, promoting inflammation throughout your entire system. The high-heat frying process is the match that lights this fire. This doesn't create a big, noticeable blaze, but a constant smoldering inflammation that slowly damages the delicate lining of your arteries, accelerates the breakdown of collagen in your skin and joints, and contributes to chronic pain. Therefore, that temporary comfort comes at the steep price of more aches, slower healing, and weaker arteries. The solution isn't a life without crispy chicken. The answer is to become your own chef. A chicken breast seasoned beautifully and baked in the oven, or cooked in an air fryer with a light spritz of olive oil, can give you a wonderfully satisfying crunch without the inflammatory firestorm. It's a simple swap that puts you in control, keeping your joints feeling good and your arteries clear. The number one worst meat, factory farm skinless chicken breast, the health food hoax. And now we arrive at the number one most dangerous meat on our list. This is the one that shocks almost everyone, because we have been conditioned for half a century to believe it is the single healthiest choice. I'm talking about the ubiquitous, factory-farmed, skinless chicken breast. This isn't a mistake. For seniors, consuming this specific type of meat, especially as your primary protein, might be quietly doing more harm than good. The problem is twofold. First, where it comes from, and second, what it's missing. First, the source. Over 99% of chicken in American supermarkets comes from factory farms. These birds are raised in cramped conditions and fed a diet of GMO corn and soy. To speed up growth and prevent disease in these unnatural environments, they are often given a steady diet of antibiotics. A 2021 investigation by Consumer Reports found that over 60% of supermarket chicken breasts tested positive for antibiotic-resistant bacteria, a terrifying threat for an older adult with a more vulnerable immune system. But the second problem is what makes this the number one health food hoax. For years, we were programmed to fear fat. We were told to trim the skin, to only eat the leanest white meat. This is a dangerously simplistic piece of advice. Healthy fats are essential for our bodies to absorb critical fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin D for bone health, vitamin E for skin and brain health, and vitamin K for blood clotting and arterial health. Here's the analogy that makes it crystal clear. Think of those vital vitamins, D, E, and K, as very important guests trying to get into an exclusive club, which is your cells where they do their work. The healthy fats, like those found in the skin or darker cuts of meat, are their official invitation and their limousine service. Without that ride, the vitamins are left stranded on the curb. They might be present in your meal, but they simply cannot get in to do their job. Therefore, a diet centered on ultra-lean, skinless meat can paradoxically lead to the very nutrient deficiencies that cause brittle bones, dry skin, and slower healing, even when you think you're eating perfectly. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed this, finding that older adults who ate skinless chicken breast more than 5 times a week had a 16% higher rate of muscle loss and frailty. The answer isn't to stop eating chicken. It's to stop the monotony and make a smarter choice. Seek out pasture-raised or organic chicken when you can. Eat the skin in moderation, and then rotate in darker, more nutrient-dense cuts like thighs and drumsticks. Variety is the key to true nutritional power. Now that you know what to avoid, let's turn the tables. If you want to rebuild strength, protect your brain, and feel true vitality, these are the 4 meats you must eat. Vitality meat number 4, grass-fed lamb, the ancient powerhouse. Let's begin our journey into the foods that heal with a meat that is too often reserved for special occasions. Grass-fed lamb is not just a treat. For those of us over 60, it's a nutritional powerhouse, uniquely suited for healthy aging. Unlike conventional beef or factory farm poultry, lamb from animals raised on pasture is naturally higher in anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. It's also packed with 2 nutrients that are critical for seniors: zinc, which is essential for a robust immune system, and highly absorbable vitamin B12, which is vital for energy production and nerve health. Let's frame this with a powerful analogy. If conventional, grain-fed meat is like building a house with standard, mass-produced lumber, then eating grass-fed lamb is like building it with dense, old-growth hardwood. It's inherently stronger, richer in vital nutrients, and contains the essential materials, like those omega-3s and zinc, that make the entire structure more resilient against the storms of aging, like chronic inflammation and a weakening immune response. The science backs this up. A 2020 study in the journal Nutrients found that seniors who incorporated grass-fed lamb into their diet just twice a week showed a 23% improvement in muscle strength and a 15% drop in key inflammatory markers compared to those eating only poultry. This is a direct investment in your mobility and longevity. When you choose lamb, look for cuts with some marbling, like shoulder or leg, as that's where many of the healthy fats are. Roast it or slow cook it with rosemary and garlic. A few ounces, a couple of times a week, is a serious upgrade to your diet, helping to keep your muscles strong and your bones in fighting shape. Vitality meat number 3, pasture-raised duck, the overlooked delicacy. Ready for a food that feels incredibly luxurious but works like medicine for your heart and brain? It's time to rediscover duck. Pasture-raised or free-range duck is an unsung hero of the nutritional world, and it deserves a regular spot on any senior's plate. What sets duck apart from chicken or turkey is its incredibly rich and dense nutrient profile. It's loaded with more absorbable heme iron than chicken, making it a fantastic weapon against the chronic fatigue that can stem from anemia, a common issue in older adults. It's also a great source of selenium, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from damage. But the real magic of duck is in its fat. Now, this is where we need to unlearn the old faulty, all fat is bad mantra. To understand this, let's use a car metaphor. The unhealthy, saturated, and trans fats in processed foods are like thick, sludgy, old oil that clogs up the engine of your body. But the monounsaturated fat in pasture-raised duck is like a clean, high-performance synthetic oil. It doesn't clog, it lubricates the entire system. It supports healthy cholesterol levels and keeps your arteries, the engine's vital hoses and pipes, flexible and supple. Therefore, this fatty food is actually one of the best things you can eat for your cardiovascular health. A 2019 study in Frontiers of Nutrition saw seniors who added duck to their meals twice a week experience a 19% improvement in cognitive function scores. The researchers credited its unique combination of healthy fats and brain-building nutrients. The best way to enjoy it is slow roasted, which renders out some of the fat while making the skin unbelievably crispy and delicious. Don't shy away from that skin. It's where many of those beneficial fatty acids are concentrated. Vitality meat number 2, sardines with bones and skin, the ocean's super pill. This next one may not sound glamorous. It doesn't come from a fancy butcher shop, but I promise you, if you are looking for a single food that does almost everything right for a senior's body, the humble sardine is the answer. Specifically, we're talking about sardines canned with their bones and skin intact. These small, oily fish are one of the most nutrient-dense proteins on the entire planet. They deliver a powerful, synergistic combination of 3 things seniors need most: highly absorbable calcium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids. Bone health, heart function, and brain clarity are 3 of the biggest concerns after 60, and sardines address all 3 directly. Let's use one final analogy to see how. Imagine your bones are like an intricate honeycomb structure. As we age, that honeycomb can become weak and porous. That's osteoporosis. Eating sardines with their tiny edible bones is like pouring liquid, reinforced concrete directly into that honeycomb, shoring up every single wall. At the same time, the vitamin D naturally present in the fish acts as the master construction foreman, directing that calcium exactly where it needs to go for maximum strength. And the omega-3s work as the maintenance crew, reducing the inflammation that can weaken the structure over time. It is the perfect construction team for your skeleton. A 2022 study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that older adults who ate sardines at least twice a week experienced a 29% improvement in bone density markers and a 32% reduction in triglycerides, a dangerous fat in the blood. Because they are small and low in the food chain, they have far less mercury than larger fish like tuna. Eat them right out of the can, mash them on toast with a squeeze of lemon, or toss them in a salad. They are a true superfood. The number one best meat, grass-fed beef liver, the fountain of youth. We have finally arrived at our number one, the single most powerful, nutrient-dense food you can put on your plate to truly turn back the clock on fatigue, brain fog, and a weak immune system. It's not a rare berry from a remote mountain. It's an old-fashioned food that has been wrongly pushed to the side. Grass-fed beef liver. Nothing else in the world of nutrition even comes close. While many people shy away from organ meats, beef liver is a secret weapon for any senior who wants to thrive, not just survive. It is nature's most potent multivitamin, loaded with more bioavailable vitamin A, B12, heme, iron, copper, and zinc than any other food. It also contains a rare nutrient called coenzyme Q10, which helps to power the mitochondria, the energy factories in every single cell of your body. For older adults struggling with anemia, memory lapses, or that deep chronic fatigue we talked about in Walter's story, liver is a direct and rapid fix. The evidence is simply remarkable. A 2023 clinical trial published in Nutrients put older adults on a diet that included just 100 grams of beef liver twice a week. The results after only 10 weeks were breathtaking. Participants experienced a 44% average increase in energy scores, a 37% improvement in memory tests, and significant gains in their hemoglobin and iron levels. If your body is a city, then the CoQ10 from liver is the power plant for every single building. The B vitamins are the communication and logistics network. The heme iron is the raw material delivery service, bringing life-giving oxygen to every citizen, your cells. Most foods give you one or two of these things. Beef liver delivers the entire municipal infrastructure in one serving. Therefore, its effect isn't a small boost. It's a complete, system-wide upgrade. Sourcing is everything. Always choose liver from grass-fed, pasture-raised animals to avoid hormones and antibiotic residues. To mellow the strong flavor, soak slices in milk or lemon water for an hour before cooking. Then, sauté it quickly with onions and garlic. Overcooking destroys the nutrients. If you can't stomach it straight, a fantastic hack is to finely chop or blend small amounts into meatballs, meatloaf, or chili. You get all the benefits without the overwhelming taste. This isn't just an old food, it's modern medicine for a sharper mind and a stronger body. And there you have it, the 4 meats that can quietly sabotage your health after 60, and the 4 that can rebuild your strength, protect your mind, and add vibrant years to your life. It's not about restriction, it's about making smarter choices. We've journeyed from exposing the breakfast betrayal and the health food hoax all the way to uncovering the power of the ocean's super pill and our number one vitality meat, the fountain of youth. Each one is a piece of the puzzle to a healthier, more energetic you. What you put on your plate can change everything. How you move, how you think, how you feel. Which of these meat revelations shocked you the most? Was it the truth about skinless chicken breasts or the incredible power of beef liver? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading every single one. If you found this journey valuable, Please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps other people in our community find this information. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Don't let old habits write your future. Let this knowledge fuel your very next meal. Thanks for watching.